So, Sir Keir Starmer is an international embarrassment. His nickname is Never Hear Keir. So, he's taken 42 foreign trips in 17 months. In fact, there's a little map of it here, actually. It'll take ages to go through, so don't worry. We're just going to keep that playing there. He's been all over the world. But today, he took the phrase foreign trip a little bit too literally.
Hello. How are you? It's great to see you.
Oops, there he goes. Now, apparently, Downing Street was ringing around journalists today, asking them to not publish that clip of him nearly stacking it. Oh, well, here it is again.
Hello. How are you? It's great to see you.
Now, just in case you missed it, here it is again, but really slowed down. Oh, well, what a shame. Anyway, it's not the first time that he's been humiliated on the world stage. This was a classic.
Come here. Is everything going good?
Very good.
It's very nice that you're here. These people all came in like 20-minute notice.
Oh, still. It makes a change from being the president's bag carrier.
We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is... Sorry about that.
A very important document.
A little windy out here. Give it.
Or what about the time that he went to a summit and every other leader was greeted by the host, Viktor Orban, apart from Starmer? It's the way he looks around for me, you know. It's like that. Oh, where is it? Friends? Anybody? Any friends? Or, of course, he went to Albania, didn't he? And in front of the Albanian leader, in front of the world's press, he said, hey, we're just going to have talks about return hubs for illegal migrants in Albania. Then the Albanian leader immediately slapped him down and said, no, actually, we're only doing it with Italy. But today's trip wasn't the first time that Sir Keir Starmer has stumbled.
Have you lost control of your MPs, Prime Minister?
There you go. Or even stumbled over his words when it comes to major international events.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages. The hostages.
Has anyone checked on those sausages? I don't know. We'll come back there, yeah. But he couldn't even get a basic photo op with the leader of South Korea, right? He thought he was actually his translator first, which was pretty embarrassing. Look, I think we all think he's a laughingstock, but it looks like the world is probably laughing at him now as well. Every time you're online, your money and your identity are at risk. Scams now make up nearly 40% of all crime in the UK. That's thousands of attacks every single day. In Britain, someone has their identity stolen every 2 minutes, leaving victims with wrecked finances and years of stress. The threat is real, and you could be next. ExpressVPN is your shield against criminals. It locks down your devices, hiding your personal information and financial details from hackers, scammers, and anyone else looking to exploit you. So whether you're checking your bank, shopping, or just browsing, ExpressVPN makes you invisible to prying eyes trying to steal your money and your identity. ExpressVPN shields your data with military-grade AES 256 encryption. That's the same standard trusted by the US government to guard classified information. This is the highest level of online security you can get. So don't wait for disaster. Secure up to 14 devices at once and get powerful password protection. Real support is available 24/7 because cybercrime never sleeps. Save up to 73% on annual plans today. Every moment you hesitate is another moment you're exposed. Protect your money and protect your identity. Get ExpressVPN right now. Let's get the thoughts of my wonderful panel and my studio audience. Christo, is he an international laughingstock, do you think?
No, I think it's wrong to say he's an international laughingstock because he's a laughingstock here as well. So let's not discount him being a laughingstock here in the UK. He is fast becoming the Mr. Bean of politics, isn't he? Because that's what he's like, bumbling, where am I going next? The only thing I'll say about that clip, and I don't know if I saw it properly, actually. Do you think...
I don't know, can we play it again, maybe? I'm not sure.
I didn't catch it properly, actually. I don't know that's all right.
Don't worry, it'll come up at some point, yeah.
The only thing is, there was a flash of emotion from the Starmer bot, wasn't there? Because he is a robot. Normally, he's just like, so robotic, but because he tripped and it was almost like the computer program failed. Look, you can see the moment it short circuits and it's gone. And then immediately it's back online. It's back on. He's a laughingstock, but there he goes again. Thank you for the reminder.
That's all right.
But on a serious note, we are a country in decline. It pains me to say that, but we are. Our economy is flatlined. We are no longer a place where people want to invest. We are no longer a place where people feel like there is any kind of hope. And so I'm not surprised he's joining the thousands and thousands of people that don't want to be here anymore. Most of them are emigrating. He's just choosing to no longer be in this country. And it's because he just does not want to face the problems, many of which he and his government have created.
OK. OK, all right. Well, good start. We're going to go to the audience for the first time, if that's all right. Has anyone got a point to make on this? Someone? Yes, go on, sir. Do you want to stand up and say your piece? What did I say, mate?
It's not in regards to Keir Starmer being abroad. It's just a general question.
Yeah,
right. So the Prime Minister has said that a woman is an adult human female. Right. Right. But he also finally admits that no woman has a penis. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd like to know is, will Labour now apologise to Rosie Duffield, Joanna Cherry, J.K. Rowling and many other women they smeared, suspended, smeared, suspended and...
Well, and humiliated. They pushed them aside,
humiliated,
yeah. Exactly.
Or are they still too scared of the trans lobby to say sorry?
Well, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good question because it does relate, actually, because that, I think, does make him a bit of a laughingstock, doesn't it? That whole thing about, can a woman have a penis? David Lammy thinking that women could grow cervix, all of that. What would you like to say about this in general, about being a laughingstock and also to that chap's question?
You see, the problem is, Christo has a really, really good point here. The economy is in deep, deep trouble. And that's because we do not have enough people working in order to transfer money into the exchequer. So at the moment, we're running on empty. We're a car that's running on empty. And you're right, he should apologise to these women because that's the correct thing to do. And he could move on really quickly if he did that. Because, frankly, we don't need to be dragged back by that kind of problem when we've got such serious things affecting us right now. We've got kids between 16 and 24 who aren't working. They're not on employment or training or whatever. We've got a much, much bigger and growing older population, which, as I said, means there are fewer and fewer people working, therefore bearing the burden of tax to pay for our services. Now, we should be concentrating on that. And frankly, my view is that Keir Starmer, who does perform quite well on the international stage, obviously, slip-ups...
Quite literally in the case of today, actually, yeah.
But, he should be at home. The budget's only days away. There's so much talk, so much speculation. Sunday papers are going to come out with a load of stuff soon. He should be here.
All right, so you're spending too much time abroad?
Where's Wally? That's what I call... Where is Wally? Yeah. It's, isn't it? You need to look at the map and see the little where's Wally and point him out. As far as the trans thing's concerned, much like you said, absolute waste of time and energy for us to waste our time on this nonsense. There are so many more things to worry about, really, really critical things. And, I mean, the list is endless. So it's just absolute nonsense. And the thing is, if you can't decide between X, Y and whether they've got a womb, you say, thank God he's not a doctor, that's all I'd say. I mean, it could be very unfortunate. So.
For the same biological fact they stated years earlier,
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a point. It's a pointless topic. It's just ridiculous.
What does everyone feel a little bit like? You know, when you see Keir Starmer popping up on the world stage meeting these leaders, do you feel a bit of a sense of dread, or do you feel happy he's there? I mean, what's the kind of general? Oh no, not again, said someone. Well, there you go. Look, if anyone else was desperate to make a point on this, get your hand up. There is a gentleman at the back, so we get the microphone to him. Go on then, Andy. What would you like to say about whether or not Keir Starmer is a bit of a national embarrassment abroad?
Ofcom, don't worry, I'm here. It's. I think, you know, there are lots of things touched on there. I think I do agree with my fellow panellists that on the culture war stuff, I think there are genuinely more important things. Wages are stagnating, energy and water companies are making record profits, unemployment is on the rise, you know, bills are higher than ever. There are more serious things that I want my Prime Minister to be talking about than whether a woman can have a penis or whether, you know, he or she or whatever can grow what was it?
Cervix.
A
cervix.
was it?
David Lammy. I just think there are more important things for a Prime Minister to be doing than that.
You know, when he goes abroad though, and he does his little, whether it's a slip up or, you know, when he kind of sort of like awkwardly approaches Trump and then gets sent back, or he goes and gets it wrong with the Albanians, and is it not a bit like humiliating?
It's unfortunate. I think everyone trips up. Everyone trips up. I tripped up on the way here. When I was walking down that step, I tripped up.
Do you know what would be better though if he acknowledged that he tripped up? So whoops, you know,
well, he was
laughed about it.
He was going to go and talk to some activists. I don't think he needs to offer a running commentary on him tripping over some stairs going to talk to some activists. I think it is bold though to talk about international embarrassment and all that when you're, you know, a vice chair of Epping Reform, when your former Welsh leader has just been convicted of taking bribes from Russia. Is that a national embarrassment?
Not really, no.
You don't think it's embarrassing to take bribes from Russia?
It is,
when you're a member of the European Parliament? Do you not?
Yes. Is he a national embarrassment? No, he's not in the same position.
Is he an embarrassment to Nigel Farage, his close ally?
But that's for Nigel Farage.
To Reform UK?
Not to me, no.
Not to you? You're not embarrassed that the man who ran your party in Wales, got 10 and a half years he's in prison for, took bribes from Russia? Are you not embarrassed by that?
Not really, no.
How could anyone trust anything that anyone from Reform UK is saying about international affairs when you took bribes from Russia?
Don't be ridiculous. You can't judge a whole party and a whole movement. Most people are hitting by one man. Has
Farage investigated those other members of the European Parliament at the same time?
I don't know, you'd have to ask him.
Well, you represent Reform UK. You're the vice chair of Epping Reform UK. It says right there on your tag. Has he?
Well, one more, and then we'll move on. I mean, you've made your point relatively clear. I think your point is what? That you can't...
My point is...
She's not embarrassed, is her?
Not embarrassed. There's far more things to be embarrassed about than a man in Wales who's
Oh, he's been sentenced to...
For treason, guys, for treason.
Well, we need to be very careful about that.
It's treason. Taking bribes from Russia is treason.
Well, I mean, but we don't judge a whole party by...
It's technically and
actually. If we did, we'd be in trouble.
Should we judge the whole of the Labour Party by the tax scandals, by the Lord Alley scandals, by the
Keir Starmer
scandals, or do we accept...
I think absolutely. I think Keir Starmer has condemned those, absolutely. Nigel Farage, he's been quite silent, hasn't he?
Let's go to the gentleman at the back first, if that's all right. What would you like to say, sir?
Yeah, I was just wondering what the panel think the Chinese, what hold they have over the toolmaker's son for him to be pushing through the Chinese embassy, the mega embassy.
Another thing that some would argue might make him a slight national embarrassment, sir.
Well, yeah, he is, basically.
Well, Boris Johnson originally approved it. He's just not taken away the approval.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that the threat from China, according to Sir Ken McCullum, the head of MI5, has grown substantially. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that we have to deal with China. I lived there. I lived in Hong Kong for 5 years. I was a foreign correspondent there. And the fact of the matter is, I've watched China grow into this economic superpower. It's the second biggest economy now in the world. And we have to learn to deal with China. But we must understand they're a very big security threat right now. Sir Ken McCullum described it as a tsunami coming towards us. So, OK, you let them have a big embassy, but I am very suspicious about the location being so close to the city and to major data centres. And I think the location is wrong. And I think it's also wrong. Maybe they shouldn't be in the old Royal Mint, one of our legacy buildings. Yeah. And actually, one final point, I'd like to know why the basements are redacted. Yes. Plan on doing in there.
Well, quite, yes. But you'll be relieved to know that Sir Keir Starmer is actually going abroad again to China soon. He is. That's not a joke. He is.
He is in January.
Which would strongly imply that he's already decided to approve their mega embassy, which is the size of a small fortress, and is definitely not going to have torture chambers in the basement. So let's
left.
Hope he stays there. Well, there we are. Right, we're off to a lively start.
Don't do that to the Chinese. Come on, we don't hate them that much, do we?
We wonder how long it'd be before the Chinese decide they've had enough.
They'll surrender.
There we go. All right, well, look, it's a lively start. We've had a bit of a row. We've had some audience questions. I know there was some more we want to get to, but don't worry, the night is young, so thank you very much. But has anyone here entered the Great British